recording. We are going to create a massing inside model or volume, and then we're going to use something that they call patterns. Okay, is it what you want? Let me show you this, and then you let me know if this is what you want to do. We can use the massing inside, the in-place mass, and then you remember that we, by the way, Scott, you have used this tool to create this curtain wall here, the tilted one?
Yes.
But now we can make something different. So I want to go to grid, was it grid 1, I think, or grid 8? I don't remember. Go to level 0, and we are, yeah, grid A0. Okay. Massing, in place mass, set grid A0. And now I can draw. Okay. And now we can create a form, solid form. We have to select this, and we have to create a solid form. Okay. And now we can finish mass. So we can create this, we can edit in place. Okay, so now if you select this, we can always divide the surface. Okay, so we have create form, and we can divide the surface. So if we select this divide surface, you can select something like this, a fixed number in the U grid and the V grid. Okay, so we can always change this if we want to here only 5. And if we want the horizontals to be 5. Okay, we are dividing this. Or we can use a pattern. So here with patterns, is this what you want? Because here with this you have 3 grid lines. So we have 2 and 3 grid lines. Or you can use the rhomboid, or you can use triangles, or these. Okay. And here we can always rotate the grid 90. Okay, so it cannot be 90. It can be, let's say 45. Okay. Okay, so with this pattern, you see that you have 3 grid lines. The only thing you need is to find the right pattern or something that you want. But is this something that you're...
I'll play around with it. I'll play around with it and see if it's going to fit.
The problem is that now this is a mass. Can we create a curtain wall on this? Let's find out, because I want to finish mass. If I go to massing inside and create a curtain system, you see what happens here. It's nice, by the way. It's like, yeah, we have a lot of lines and they are all matching on this point. So that's good. So you cannot create a curtain wall following this pattern. If you want to do this, we can do it. And I'm going to do it now, but maybe it's too dangerous at this level. Okay, I'll do it just for the sake of knowledge. We can open File, create a new family, and we need, I don't know if you have these families, I don't know, but you have to work with this curtain panel pattern based. And we are going to create our own family. So this is not, we're not working with the default curtain walls that Revit has, or the default booleans. We are going to create our own family. So that's why I told you that this is too advanced for an introduction, for an introductory class on Revit. But I'll show you how to do it very quickly. But it's, I'll start again. It's File, New, open a new family, and then you have to select this curtain panel pattern based. Okay, so now we are in a different layout, as you can see. And we can create our curtain wall here. It's quite complicated, but I'm going to try to do something something easy, and let's see what happens. So first, so you see that we have points, okay? In this point, and then we have these lines, and they are all active. They are active points and active lines. So that means that if we have a pattern in our drawing, we can adapt whatever we do following these lines. We can adapt it to our pattern. Okay. So I'm going to create a rectangle, but first I have to set the plane where we are working. So you see that we can select either this plane or this or the horizontal one. Okay, so I'm going to select this one. I'm going to select this one, and now I can create a rectangle. I can select this and I can move it so that it matches this point. Okay. And now if I select this and this, I can create a solid form. And I have created a square, but I have created booleans. Okay. And now, for example, I can create a form, another solid form. And now if I select this, this can be the glass. I'll make it thinner, let's say 1 inch. And now make sure that you select the curtain panels and you don't select the reference line. No, but I just want to select the glass itself. Yeah. Okay, I'm selecting this, and then I can apply a material and I can make it glass. Okay, so now it's transparent. So I can have aluminum. I don't have aluminum. Okay, I don't know. Probably I will have to charge to load a material there. I'm not going to do it, but I have some glass element, and then I have aluminum. And then I can load it into the project. Okay, so now we are in this 3D view, and I can load this into the project. So if I select the I want to select the mass, edit in place. Then I want to select this. The problem is that now I cannot, because you see that I have done this family, but I have used a rectangular pattern. Okay. So I can, if I have a rectangular pattern and I rotate it, now I think I can load this family and look at this. So I have a curtain wall here, and I have another curtain wall there. Well, this is what you have done so far, because you have two curtain walls with two different patterns. This is because we have been working in this element, we have been working with a rectangular pattern. If I create a new, see, I have a question in the chat.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm getting a message saying an unrecoverable error has occurred. The program will now be terminated. All your data has been recently saved, so there is no need to create a recovery file. I don't know what's happening.
Well,
I can't open it.
They launched Revit 2022 last week or at the beginning of this week.
Yeah, I had it going great yesterday. I was working on it yesterday, and I mean, this is the first time it just happened right now that this is happening.
Sometimes new software has these kind of issues. Yes, they will be fixing these issues. I don't know, because I haven't used Revit 2022 yet.
Okay. I thought I downloaded 2021 or 2020, but I guess it was 2022. I'll just try downloading 21 or something. I don't know.
That would be a safe bet, because Revit 2020, I would download Revit 2022 in after the summer, because during the summer, people using this and discovering issues like this, and they will get it fixed.
Okay, I got you. Thank you.
Well, anyway, I was talking about this, and here we can work with different patterns. So if you're working with this triangle bend pattern, okay, we can try to do something like this with this pattern that you see that we have lost everything. So now we have to start from scratch. I will create, I will set first. I will select this one. I will create a rectangle like this. Now I select this and grid lines. I create form, solid form. Okay, so now I have this shape. I can load it into the project. I can override the existing version. And now where am I? Yeah. I think I didn't finish the mass. And now there's something wrong point. Well, no, yeah, this is what has happened. Now I have this triangle family, and this is in this triangle belt element. The problem is that this grid line is too big, and number 5 is 10. Yeah. 412. Okay, so that looks like what you're looking for, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty close.
Yes, okay. So try, but I think it's too advanced. So don't go crazy. You can do anything with Revit, but then you have to work with these families, and then you can create your own family. You can do something very simple like this. If you create like a rectangle, and then you create that form all around this, and then don't forget that you have to create the glass as well to make it a curtain wall. So working with the right pattern, but you have to make sure that you are working with the same pattern in here, in this family, and you are working with the same pattern here, which is a triangle bend. Because if you are working with a different pattern here and with a pattern here and a different pattern in the family, it doesn't work. Okay, so you have to make sure that you have created a mass, and then you have divided the surface using this pattern. Because now if you select the octagon, the shape that you have created doesn't work with this octagon. And then you have to create another family with this octagon shape. That I think if you use this pattern, which is the triangle bend, because in this triangle bend, you have three directions of the grid, okay? I think if you work with this and then you rotate it, you change the scale or the number of elements, and you can get what you are looking for.
Thank you.
But I don't, well, I don't recommend you do it, and I don't want to save anything here. No, I don't want to open it again. Okay, so let's stick to the plan today, and the plan today is to work with structural elements. I inserted these structural elements, I think it was last week when we started this building, but I didn't have all the families. Now, I think if we work with columns, with structural columns, we do have concrete rectangular. No, I don't want this. Don't want this. Do I have architectural columns? No. So I have to insert, where is it? Insert families. We are going to work with columns. And we have round columns. So I want round columns. Okay. And now I think we can turn this into round column. 6, 12, well, that depends on the, I think those are pretty thick columns. So let's change to diameter 24. Okay. But before doing this, we can select all of them. And then we can turn them to round columns 24. Okay, so they have to be round columns. But before that, I want to study the building. Because just looking at the floor plans, we can understand that there is something that is repeated. This is it's not an easy building. It's not easy to understand because we have ramps. And when we have ramps, if we look at the plan, we are looking part of the first floor and part of the basement. Here we are looking part of the second floor and part of the first floor. Okay, so it's a little tricky understanding the building, but we can see that there is something that is repeated and is that grid. Okay, so here we have all these structural elements, and here we have all that structural elements, and here it's different. Well, it's different. Here we have something structural. Here we don't, because here we have the auditoriums. And if you look at the auditorium plan, the structural element is just here. Okay, so you know that we have this tilted grid. So we have this angle here, and this is because you see that we have this column, and only this and this show up here in the auditorium. We don't have here anything in the middle because this is an auditorium. If we had a column here in the middle, there would be a few seats that can see the stage. Okay, so it doesn't make any sense. So the structure of this auditorium is something different. But as you can see, even in this auditorium, we can understand that this column here, the first one, this, and then this one doesn't show up. Yep. But then the third and the fourth are here, the third and the fourth. And then we don't have any of these. And here, but we can see that at the intersection of these grids, we have structural elements here. The same structural elements that we have in this floor or in that floor. Okay, so structure is something important, and that's why we are using grid lines, because we are defining the structural elements. And as you can see, if we have a grid here and another grid there, if we go to this plan, well, we are following again the grid lines to place those structural elements. And this is not about Revit. This is not about modern architecture. This is common sense, but sometimes we forget that the structure is one of the most important things that we need to design. Okay, we can have nice ideas, but if we want to build something, if we want to make it real, we need a structure. And there is something by the name of gravity in this planet, and we have to abide by this law. We can't pretend that it doesn't exist. Okay, so we need to know that. And gravity means that if we have a load, we have to figure out how to trace this load until we get to the foundations of the building, and then we distribute this load in the soil. Okay, so this is what gravity is. We have a load somewhere, and by means of vertical and horizontal structural elements, we need to carry this load up to the ground. So the most efficient way is having a vertical element. So if we have a load and I have a vertical element that goes from the load to the ground floor, that will always work. So even if we have a weird building, gravity exists, and having grid lines with columns there, it's always a good advice. And then if I need to, because we have gravity, but I have an auditorium. What can I do? I can't have a column here just in the middle of the auditorium. Okay, so that's another issue. But then you solve this issue, you solve this space, this problem. But here you don't have this problem because you can have these grid lines with vertical elements. Okay, go ahead. And this vertical element is the same as the vertical element that we have in the first floor or in the basement or wherever. Especially if we have a parking lot, because apparently this is a parking lot. Well, I have attended some conferences or presentations by this guy, by Rem Koolhaas, and he always says that he starts designing a building by the parking lot, because designing a parking lot, you cannot make up different dimensions. A car is a car, and it has a dimensions. And if you want to have an underground parking lot, so that structure will be repeated all the way up. Okay, so he says, let's solve the parking lot, and then we will deal with the building. But first, solve the parking lot. And this is what he did. And the parking lots, yes, so because if you need to place 2 cars between 2 columns or 3 cars between 2 columns, that will give you the distance between columns, and that's it. So it depends on the size of the car, basically. Is this a parking lot? I'm not sure. I don't think so, but it looks like, but it's not a parking lot. But if we had a parking lot underneath this building in the underground, then the structure would reflect the parking lot. And this is something that we need to be aware of when you're designing buildings. Okay, so this is a speech about structural elements. They are important. don't forget that the second thing, okay, you can start sketching your building, you can have an idea, okay, I want this shape, whatever, but before going any farther, try to think a feasible structure. It can be made of retaining walls or bearing walls, concrete columns, steel columns, wooden elements, but you need an idea for the structure when you're designing a building, so don't forget that. So here, I don't mean it's easy, but once we have decided the grid lines, things are not as complicated as they might seem, okay? Because basically when we solve the structural grid on the first floor, then yeah, probably here we have fewer elements, but the elements that we have are reflected on the first floor as well. So this is what we are going to do now. I want to, and as you can see, here we have concrete columns. Okay, so those are concrete columns. And in other places, we have steel columns. And I think we can see the difference here. So these round, thick columns are made of concrete. And I think these columns here are made of steel. Okay, so probably this picture, well, probably not. This picture is taken from this place here, because this is the entrance to the, yeah, this is the egg, and the egg is here. Okay, so this picture is taken from here. All these are concrete columns. But this picture, I think this picture is taken from here. You see that we have that space. These are steel columns because they are smaller or not as thick as the concrete columns. And then we have a curtain wall here on the left. This is what we have. We have the steel columns here, and then we have a curtain wall here on the left. Okay, and here we have structural highlights. So you see that we have the blue columns, then we have the red columns, and then we have the green ones. Okay, green, I think it's steel. The blue ones are made of concrete because they are thicker and round. And then the red ones, or the pink ones, I don't know, but we will figure it out. And then we have a truss. This is another structural element. Okay, so this is a truss. We will explain trusses later. But this building has everything. So if you understand this building, you can understand 90% of structural elements or the curtain walls that we can have in different buildings. Okay. So let's go ahead. Yeah, I think here we can tell that these columns are round and thicker. Those are made of concrete. And these columns are thinner, and these are made of steel. Okay. So I think we have concrete columns from this basement up to the first, second, yeah, to the third floor. And here we have concrete columns up to the roof. Okay, let's do that. We did this, and but I think some of these first, we have more columns here. I don't know why we did only these ones. Probably because, yeah. Okay, so those columns are here, but in this first floor, you see that we have plenty of columns. Even we have another grid line that it's not this one, but clearly there's another grid line here. Oh, and we had this reference plane. I remember that we did this reference plane diagonal for the diagonal columns. Okay, so I think we need to copy more. So we can copy this here, always at the intersection of these grid lines, even if it doesn't match, but I would place it here. This is not at the intersection, well, because Rem Koolhaas is a genius, and sometimes he thinks that he doesn't have to abide by the rules of common people. So suddenly he plays a column here and another column there and another column there. But even there's like a pattern. You see that we have a pattern. I haven't analyzed this pattern, but I'm sure that there's a rule connecting this, because it's like okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's a law for this. I don't know it, but and I don't want to find out. But yeah, there's something. Here we have another column at the intersection, and we have more columns here. And another one. There's another one here. And here we have tiny elements at this point, but this clearly it's something different. So we can copy this one. And now we can select, this is a 24 diameter, we can select a 12 diameter. That looks better. And apparently there's another one here. Yeah, I think there's like another grid line, so we can copy this grid line here. Can we use align? Yes, so you see that here, this is the center or the diameter of this circle, and I'm going to align this grid line there. And then the columns will be here. What's the name of this? If this is 55, because it's between 5 and 6, this is 44, because it's between 4 and 5. Okay, so there's 2 more columns. I can copy this and this. Here. Right. Am I missing something? Yes, here you can see that we have other thin elements, so we can copy this 12 by diameter 12. I can copy this here, and then multiple. Yeah, I'll select this, copy. Where? Multiple. Here, yeah, we have a couple of columns here out of the grid. But here, I think we have more. Okay, so I can select this one, probably this one, and then I can copy them. Here and there. Well, we have plenty of columns now, and let's see what it looks like. Yeah, so that looks more like a tree, like a forest, like a columns. And since these columns are attached to this roof, so you see that we have attached all these columns to that roof. But if we look at this, you see that there's a gap here. Okay. When we're using this, there's yeah, so there's the attachment justification. Again, this is a small detail that makes a difference. And this is the minimum intersection. So the minimum intersection is this point. I want to go to the maximum intersection. You see what it does? So now we are adapting the column exactly to this roof that is tilted. We should select all these columns, especially the ones that are connected to this, and then I want to attach to the maximum intersection. And now all this is perfect. Okay, those are small details that make the project better. So there are a lot of columns here. Yep. And yeah, so now we have to decide what column is going up and up to what level. So let's find out in the section. So if we look at the section. Yes, we can start with these ones. Okay, so we see that they go up. Okay. Every other column, I think it goes up. There are 1, 2, and 3. And they go up to this floor here. Okay, so let's go to the Revit, and this is 1, 2, and 3, probably. And we have to attach this to this one. It will be attached to a new target. Now this is attached here as well. Okay, I think here what? No, it seems like there are columns missing here. Let me see the. Yep, we have a column going up here. This stops here. This goes up, and this goes up. Okay, so I think that one attached to top base, already attached to the new. Well, I'm going to hide this curtain wall. Yeah, it doesn't work because since this is a continuous element, this column it's already attached to this. Okay, so instead of attaching to an element, we can select attachment top level. We can say to level 20. Come on. Well, let's detach top base. And now we can go to level 20. What? Well, I don't know why it's not working. So I'm going to delete it, go to level 0, and I'm going to insert a new one. architectural column. Architectural round column 4. So I'm going to place it here. Not the wrong one. And now in the 3D, I want to attach this. Oh, maybe it's not level 20. It's you see the elevation. Yeah, it was level 30. Sorry, my mistake. There you go. I want to see this. Yeah, I think there's another column here and another one there. So I think this one and that one, they have to go up to level 30. First, I have to detach. Okay. If it doesn't work, I'll move this one, that one, and I'll copy this here. And I think this one has to go to level 30 again. That okay. And I think we need more over there. Yep, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so here we have all these columns, 1, 2, and 3. The 4th, and here at this point, yeah, this one has to go up to this level. That's right. The second one, the third, and I think we need the 4th one here. You see this column here? We need the 4th, so we need to copy this one. There. And now these ones will be metallic columns, those one here. If you make a mistake and suddenly your project browser disappears, don't panic. You can go to View, User Interface, and here you have the project browser and the properties windows. Okay, so you click on it and it shows up again. Because now we want to go to level 20. Yeah, this is level 10. So we want to go to level 20 now. So on level 20, now what are the grids for these columns? Yeah. By the way, we have another column here. So we have this in grid 8777 up to grid 6, 6, 66, 7, 77, 8, and 80. Okay, so on level 20, we have to go to grid 6. Okay, so we need columns on these elements. But these columns, we're going to work architecture column. And do we have, no, it's in architecture, structural columns. And we have this W shape. The W shape is a metallic one. Okay, so let's select this one. And now on grid 6, yeah, but what is the level? Okay, let's place it here. And now let's find out, see the fine detail, and let's find out where this column is. Where is it? Where is it? It's depth unconnected. No, I want it to be on level 20. Top constraint is value for level. Okay. So what is the top connection? Nothing. Constraints. Where the hell is that column? Okay, here. So it has to be, okay, the other one is there. So this has to be base offset level 1. I don't want this. Yeah. So the top connection is level 30 and the offset is 0. I know, Revit is a little dumb when it comes to columns. Okay. And now I want to go to level 40 because those columns go up. Yeah, like this. Okay, so now on level 20, I do have the column here, and now I can copy multiple in this grid, here, 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 and now I can select all of them, and I can copy multiple here, there. Okay, it's getting better. So let me see the plans. Okay, the plans are not there, but I can see this. Okay, so we have done this grid line, and this one. And now we need another one here, another one there, and another one there. So we can go to level 20. And we can copy all these here, here. Yep. Okay, so now on level 0, if we hide this, and if you want to see like black dots to realize what the structure is, we can always go to visibility graphics. Here we have columns, and the cut pattern, make it black solid, black, black. Okay. So now I think it looks better because we understand where the columns are. And then we can compare these. To where's the first floor? Basement. Okay, if we need more columns, we will place them. And now, let me see, we have a curtain wall. Hide view. For some reason, this curtain wall is not transparent. I can always click here, override graphics in view, element, and I can work with transparency. Okay. So now it's transparent. So we have most of the structural elements. We have the curtain walls. So what's next? Well, we can start modeling the easy stuff on level 0. I want to unhide this. Okay, because there is really easy stuff, which is this. Okay, so we can start modeling all these walls, partitions. And here we have a staircase. Well, the staircase might be a little bit more complicated, but well, by the way, this is the, I want to hide this in view. So we can start tracing all these walls. Those are interior walls. It's not a big deal, so we can always start with the wall. Generic 6 inches. And it goes from level 0 up to level 10. Yeah, so that might work. And well, it's a question of tracing the wall now. Some of the walls will match with the grid, others will not. But I think if we make them match the grid, it will be a lot easier. If they clearly don't match, don't worry. Okay, as you can see, I'm not being very accurate. I don't mind, because this is not the most important element of the building. Okay, you can continue to do this. We see the 3D view. All these walls are here. And now we have to make a decision, because as you can see, those walls are not matching this, because we have this tilted roof here. And I think the best option would be to attach all these walls to that shape. Can we? Mm-hmm. Why not? Oh, there's an issue with this. Anyway, we should be able to attach these. They are connected somehow. Why? It's the same thing that happened with the columns, but with the walls, it shouldn't happen. Anyway, we should be connecting this to this. We should attach this wall to that roof. I think we can do it. If I just create a wall here, and I select this wall and attach it to the roof, huh? Can keep wall and roof joint. Why? I'll find out. Anyway, we have traced these walls, and I think this part is repeated on level No, it's not. It's just in this first floor, and then the second floor doesn't have these walls anymore because we have the auditorium here. Okay, so you just have to, well, probably if I do it again, I would be able to attach this shape to that one. Yep, up like this. But if it really, if I want to do it, I can always do it. So there's always a way in Revit. I can edit profile and I can select elements like this. Then I can trim. And now this wall is there. Okay, so don't get stuck. If you think that there's something wrong with Revit, go ahead. Now I would like to see a picture of this part of the building. You don't see it. Let me open the other file. Yeah, apparently we have this wall. Oh, I see now. Okay, so that wall doesn't get to this because we have a curtain wall there. Okay, we can do that. You see this north elevation? So you see that this wall is not up to this point, but we have the curtain wall. So as of this level 10, you see that we have a curtain wall. So instead of doing what I did, well, first, I think this shape can go farther up to this grid F0. Oh yeah, I see what's going on. Yeah. So you see how we have this shape here. Okay, we didn't take that into account, but we will do it later. Okay, so on the 3D view, the top view, I want to extend this. Well, it's not like this, but I want to extend because this wall as you can see, yeah, so we have this angle here, and this wall is not aligned to the roof itself. Okay, we have to figure out, we will do that on next week, how to create that shape with this element. Because in this plan view, yeah, you see that we have this shape here. Okay. So now, well, yeah, if you have created the massing modeling here, somehow we have to connect this wall. Yep. So you have created this mass, and then we have to create this curtain wall there. Okay, let's do it. And then I'll do it again. This thing of curtain walls. So I'm going to create massing inside, in place mass, set on grid A0, and I'm going to trace the shape ends. Okay, there you go. Now we modify, click here, create a solid form. We drag it all the way here. Yes. We finished the mass. And now I'm going to create the curtain massing inside curtain system. We select this, I create the system. We select that, I create the system. And now I delete the mass itself. Okay. Now on level 0, I am creating another curtain wall here. So I'm going to go to architecture, wall, storefront, and I'm starting here and I'm ending there. Go to the 3D view, and now I'm going to edit the shape or the profile of this wall. Cancel. Edit profile. I have to align this here. And now I have to go up to this point. I trim this and this, and I have to align this here. And are we all set? Yep. Okay, so you see that we have this wall, and then we have a curtain wall here. Well, I think this is shorter. Okay, so we can edit this profile. We can place it here. Okay, so now we have this corner, and it looks the same as this one. We can take another screenshot of this corner. So we go to camera, and we take that screenshot. And it looks like this one. Okay, so this is different because the curtain wall, as you can see here, It's not aligned to the concrete, and this is not transparent. So this is another envelope. Okay, so we will do this later, but now we have this wall, we have this curtain wall, and then we have this curtain wall here. There you go. Okay. What can we do now? I would like to create the same shape that we have here. If we look at the plans, yeah. So I would like to do something like this. Okay, so we need to have this angle here. How can we do that? Good question. Okay, let me try something because there are different ways to do this. We're going to use massing inside, in place mass. We're going to do something very simple, and we will learn something else about Revit. We're going to set this at level 0, okay? And then I'm going to create a rectangle, and I'm going to create a solid form. It goes up. But before finishing the mass, I want to create another rectangle, and I want to do this. And now I want to create a void form, and I go up. Then I finish mass, and I have created that void. Okay, I'll do it again. And I will try to do something more difficult. I'm going to create a massing inside, in place mass. Okay, let's set this at level 0. And now I'm going to use lines. And finally, I close. Okay, you select this form, create a solid form, and you go up. And before finishing the mask, if you want to create a void, you have to create another shape. Create a void form and finish. And now we have a void. So we are subtracting two different volumes. So this is something that we can do here. Okay, so if I have this shape, I want to subtract. If I'm working with the top view, I can create a massing inside, in place mass. Okay, I can set this on level 0, and now I can create that shape with this intersection here, kind of this corner. Is it closed? No. Now it is. Okay, now I select this. I create a void form. And does it affect the roof? Let's find out. No, it doesn't. This mass is not so geometrical. Okay, so let's create a solid form and finish mass. And now, is there a way to create an intersection between that roof and that solid form? I think there was a way, but I can't remember. It was something like cut, but I can't see a cut here. Cut geometry. So we select this one. Yeah, I think we can use this, but now I don't remember how. So I will figure it out and I will explain it on next week, because this is the only thing that it's left here. Okay, but it's about we have this shape that is straight, and we need to create an angle, so we need to subtract another shape from this one, and then we will end up having this. Probably because if we have created this like a roof, so if we edit the profile, yes, I can edit this profile, but I can't create this with this angle. Well, I have to figure it out. Now I don't know how to do it, but I'll find out. But you see that we need to, okay, so we need to subtract this part. And then we need this angle here. The same thing that we have with this shape. Okay. So we have to figure out how to do this. And then we are almost done with the building. Oh, that's interesting because here, yeah, looking at these models, yeah, I think here we can understand this first floor. Okay, so we have all these elements. There's a point in which we have a curtain wall here, so we have already done this. Okay, so we have this wall up to this point, and then as of this point is a curtain wall. Here we have the columns that we have already created, and there's another issue, which is this ramp. Okay, so from this point we go up, and then from that point we go up to the next level. So yeah, we have to work with this as well. But to do this, we need to know how to subtract the, yeah, we need to know how to subtract this. So I will figure out how to do it, and then I will explain it to you on, because we need to subtract this ramp here, because this goes up, and this goes up from this point to that point. Okay. that's tricky. Yeah. So this is it. Okay. So let's try to, basically we are in the final presentation, we will be doing something like that. We have to do axonometric views like this. And in addition, we have to do plans, sections, elevations, 3D views. But I think we can start doing something like that to see if what we have done so far looks like this. Okay, so let's work with a 3D view. I'm going to view user interface, project browser. I'm going to duplicate this 3D view. And I'm going to rename it. This is Axon View first floor. Okay. Now I'm going to work with the section box. And I'm going to move it down so that I can see this. Okay. So if I look at this, yeah, we have to complete all these walls. That this is a piece of cake. You can do it on your own, completing all these walls we have here. Okay, the question of tracing all the walls that we have there. Currently, oh, here we have something, and yes, we have this ramp here, and then we have this ramp going up. So on the section box, go down. Yep, we need to do this. So there are a few walls here, but this is the first floor and the basement at the same time. Okay, yeah, so this is the first floor, and then underneath this ramp, we have a basement. We have to try this. There's another thing we have to do. We have to do this shape, and this is on level 20, level 10. I think it starts on level 10. Yes, let's try to work with this 3D view. Level 10. How can we do it? Yeah, so let's try to do a wall, which is this generate 6, generate 8. And I'm going to try to do this curved element. I'm not tracing it, I'm just making it up because I want to know if I can do it using this option. we can have a shape like this, and then on the 3D view, we can first attach it to top base. And it doesn't let me attach it. Okay, I can attach these, and then I can edit profile. Three. There we go. Yeah, I think that would be the right way to do it. We have to select this, then we have to, okay, since this is a curved wall, we cannot edit profile. So that's a challenge because we need to do this, and I can't edit this profile to this. Okay, so that's another challenge. We have to figure out how to create a curved wall with a tilted floor. Okay, so that's a difficult thing. Because if it's a wall that is not curved, we can always edit profile, but we cannot select a curved wall and edit the profile to this one. Okay, so that will be a challenge. Probably we will need to subtract. Yeah, I have to figure out how to subtract different volumes, because if we can subtract this shape here, we can make it that. I'm not sure. Okay, so that's another challenge. So what are the challenges? I need to create this shape here, and then I need to adapt a curved wall to a tilted floor. Okay, so I'll figure out how to do it, and then I will explain it to you on Tuesday. So this week you have to submit something. Okay, so I will upload the classwork, and what is it? I want you to create these shapes, very easy, and then try to, I need the grids. Okay, so on level 0, I need to see all these grids, and then I need a few columns. Not all of them, but at least you have to insert these round columns, and you have 2 different sizes, and I don't want all the columns to be there or to be perfect. We can figure out how to do it, but at least I need to make sure that you know how to create grids, how to scale this image so that we all have the same dimensions, and then how you can do these shapes. You can try something about the curtain wall, and you can try some columns. Okay, so we have been working for, this is the 2nd week, we're working with this building. And by this weekend, I don't want the building completed, but I just want these shapes. I want a few curtain walls using this edit profile so that you can adapt this curtain wall to that shape. And finally, I need a few columns, and you have to attach this column to the right roof, to the right slab. And that's it. And in a couple of weeks, we will be done with this modeling, and then we will start preparing the presentation again. Okay, so for the presentation, we're going to do this. Okay, so I want you to take nice pictures from the corners, because I think the nice pictures of this building, or we can try to do like this night perspective with artificial lighting. We didn't do any artificial lighting in the midterm, I think. Okay, so we will try artificial lighting here. And then you need to explain the building by means of these axonometric views. Okay, so that's we're almost done here. We only need to figure out how to do this kind of weird things like curved walls with tilted roofs or tilted floors. We need to know how to subtract two different volumes. But once we know how to do this, we are all set. And then, yeah, we can prepare different presentations, and I think this works well. I'll show you how to do presentations using different colors to point out different uses. So we can have the auditorium, we can have another auditorium here, we can have a lecture hall or the hallway. So by using different rooms with different colors, I think that's another way to, and then we will need a legend. Yeah, so we will work with the presentation, but first we need to finish the model, and we're not far from finishing the model. There's a couple of details that we need to figure out how to do it, but we will end up doing it.